So my name's Angie Knapp. I'm faculty at Florida State University. I'm a chemical oceanographer, and I'm the lead PI and chief scientist on our cruise. So we just went out on the West Florida shelf. And the overarching question that we're trying to address is what is the role of submarine groundwater discharge in supplying nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and iron to phytoplankton growing on the West Florida shelf?
Hi, my name is Kristen Buck. I am an associate professor in the College of Earth, Ocean, and Atmospheric Sciences at Oregon State University. And I just got back here in St. Pete on the RV Atlantic Explorer. We were out on the STING project, which stands for Submarine Groundwater Discharge, Trichodesmium, Iron, Nitrogen in the Gulf of Mexico. And this is a collaborative project. It's a geotraces process study with several PIs, and we are looking at linkages between groundwater discharges of nutrients like nitrogen and micronutrients like iron, how those influence trichodesmium growth in the Gulf of Mexico, and what that means for cycling of nutrients in this system.
The group was looking at measuring nitrogen fixation rates, getting samples for RNA and DNA to look at the organisms that are there and what they're doing in terms of their gene expression as well as the gene abundance. Specifically trying to focus on trichodesmium and their linkages in terms of their ability to fix nitrogen. And then we were also grabbing chlorophyll measurements and samples for particulate nitrogen and particulate carbon.
So we've been working with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Institute. They sent an imaging flow cytobot on this cruise, and it took pictures of the phytoplankton that were out there. So we have a lot of really great data documenting when we saw trichodesmium and when we saw the harmful algae like Karenia brevis. And so what we're going to do is take all our samples back to the lab, analyze them, and try and look at them in space and time and look at correlations between where we see really high geochemical signals of submarine groundwater discharge with the different phytoplankton species that we saw out there.
So we're really super excited. We sampled a bunch of different water masses. We ended up sampling within a Karenia brevis bloom, as well as outside of a Karenia bloom, with lots of trichodesmium offshore. So we're super psyched about the linkages that we're gonna be able to put together with this group.
We've seen some really interesting geochemistry on prior cruises out here, things that we haven't seen anywhere else in the global ocean. And so we're really excited to try and explore those with a more comprehensive team.
We had a really successful cruise. We got a lot of data. We saw a lot of trichodesmium. We did incubation experiments and depth profiles, and we sampled, I think, 44 stations in 2 weeks. So we are now heading back to our labs and shipping things everywhere and see what we find.